All right, welcome to Paranormal Synergy. I'm your host, James.
And I'm John.
And it's been a while since we've done this.
Damn weather.
Yeah, I know. Snow, rain, and bullshit.
Ice, more ice, baby.
Baby. So I know you got a lot of, well, obviously you're excited when you...
I am excited because I've had a couple encounters these couple weeks. One really close to home, one while I'm coming away from college, and one at a job site.
Oh.
Yeah. I think I'll start with the job site. So we were doing a remodel in Cecilton, this house, the basement, it's all gutted. And there's three of us, and the basement door was open. And one of the guys walked past it. Well, I thought he just like rushed it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he goes, boom! And he jumps. I said, I guess Vic just made it close. He goes, I didn't touch it. I said, well, I guess, walking past it just kind of bounced shut. He goes, dude, it's shut.
Oh, shit. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was pretty active the whole time you guys were there?
No, we just did it at one time, but you get that kind of like feeling, especially when you're in the basement, that, something's either watching you or you just have that feeling.
Yeah. Always when you get that feeling, typically you get it on your skin and you feel your hair stick out, or you just feel a little uneasy.
It's a little uneasy, you get a little prickles on the back of your neck for sure.
Yeah, it's that.
I've had that a couple times in other houses.
Yeah, I always tell people if you've ever been around something, well, you know this, if you've been around something that's really high electric, you get that EMF feeling.
Yeah.
It's very similar, and that can also cause the same feeling too. So
it's paranoia,
yeah.
Nausea, hallucinations.
Yeah.
But that's, if you have an electric panel open constantly and you live in that room, and have that happen, you're sensitive to EMF.
Yeah. It's door slamming in you. And I know I got this coming up. We're talking about where I had a place I was at where the doors got locked on us, where we were set to do a call. We requested that all the doors get unlocked for each suite. It was
right.
Like bed and breakfast. And when I went to go to the rooms to put up these devices, we found every single door had been locked. And I asked the person taking care of the property if they closed them, and which they said, no, we have, a ghost here, like laughingly. And I'm like, oh, a ghost. no, really. We have a ghost. And I'm like, whoa, wait, what? But I'm still trying to reach out to the owner on that one and keep that one kind of on the down low, but that's the one where I'm a special guest for too. So I want to reach out to the new owner. But yeah, man, stuff like that's pretty wild. I've been having a lot of issues lately. Well, I can't really say they're issues, but a lot of still seeing things in the corner of my eyes, like even earlier. Like,
just out my window.
Yeah, just like something just kind of passes by or walks by. I don't really have an explanation yet. But I've been getting a lot at home where I still have the thing on the corner of the bed. I was talking about the cat that last time. Sitting on the bed, not really being even noticed. It's just there.
Right. Doesn't do much of anything.
Doesn't do much of anything. But occasionally I'll get like right by me and I'll look over and there's nothing there.
Right.
I've even had it in the front of my bed where it's like I'm on my laptop and all of a sudden you see something kind of go across and like, just come out and say hi already. It's kind of peeving me at this point. It's like I just want to play with you, know what's going on. But I really need it. It's like I want to get out of the office and get out in the field because I want to get into more situations where I'm getting these chances to get around the paranormal.
Yeah.
But we have to do an investigation. It's I got the gear. We got to figure out somewhere to go.
This time of the year is just crappy here in Maryland, and just this whole COVID thing is really putting a damper on almost anything that we can do.
Yeah, we got the snow, the rain, the
sleet,
freezing rain.
It's spring, and then it's winter again, and it's driving me crazy.
Have 7 seasons in one day or one month. Doesn't make any damn sense.
No.
But it's funny because with what you guys had going on today, I was thinking about this morning, and I wanted to bring it up. You remember, and this was before our lifetimes, I hate to say it, but with D&D, how D&D used to be associated to the occult.
Oh, yeah.
And I was also reading about the history of Ouija boards, which originally were a very popular board game.
Yeah.
The origin story had nothing to do with anything.
Right.
There wasn't a cult associated with it. That didn't happen until the 60s. The game's been around a lot longer than that.
Wow.
I mean, a lot longer. I'd have to Google it and googly get you the start by. But
Well, the whole meme, Ouija board, 18 to
yeah,
30 country, 21 to drink, but 6-year-olds can
can summon demons. But yeah, that wasn't a big thing until the 60s, and everybody's trying to tie in unexplained or things to them playing a game, which had nothing to really do with it at all.
Right.
And D&D is another one because I feel there's a lot of people, even now, there's people who are still older than us. I'm in my 40s, 40, and who still consider it an evil game, which I think is just insane.
Yeah, I think that's messed up. I mean, it has nothing to do with any of that. It's all made up.
It's no different than reading a book.
Right, exactly. You just live this book.
Yeah, you're living the book, and you're doing it with friends, and you're having a good time. And with the spirit boards, it's actually funny because they had a bunch of study with the Ouija board, where they're basically saying the way that your hands are on the board and your friends, like the way that your muscles move, are actually what tend to make it seem like it's moving on its own. And that's just impulses and stuff. But anyways, they can't really prove in any way or any scientifically proven way that board can connect to spirits or demons or anything.
Any of that.
So I find it kind of odd that everybody just goes straight to it. Now, I'm not saying you can't take the board and try to talk to a spirit, or I'm not even saying that you can't have an evil presence open a doorway. I absolutely believe that you have the ability to bring in malicious things, but I'm saying that the Ouija board doesn't have anything to do with it.
Right, it's the entity itself.
Well, I'm going to say also the energy that you're using.
Right.
What you're trying to put into it. So if your intent is to do malevolence or to bring about malevolence, and you're putting
going to bring it to you.
Right. Yeah, you're asking for it.
Yeah.
You're inviting it.
That's exactly.
It has nothing to do with the connection point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It has nothing to do with the doorknob when you open a door. The door still opens.
Exactly.
So, you kind of have to look at it that way. And you're always welcome to chime in, too, if you want. But, got a special guest here.
Yeah,
we're going to keep him quiet. But, yeah, I mean, anyways, it's just, I always feel like any time something is trying to invite something evil in, the objects themselves can become that way. I mean, look, okay, here you go. The dolls. Dolls can be associated with evil spirits.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, look at Annabelle.
Yeah.
That's not a Ouija board. At one time, that was the most innocent thing in the world.
Most toys become that way, or objects themselves.
Yeah.
Something personal to somebody that they're attached to. A part of them is attached to it.
Right.
So now it becomes like you buy a dresser from a state sale.
Yeah.
Well, grandma passed away and it was her favorite dresser, so a part of her is with it.
And if somebody's trying to move it or take it or whatever.
Right, can upset that part, or it's a recurring memory attached to it.
Right. Well, yeah, you do get that repetitive spirits where they're just in a cycle that never ends.
Right.
That one, I can't imagine living. Well, I guess you get used to it if you got the same thing just happening over and over. You can work your life around it.
Right.
And I don't even know what you do at that point, honestly. But when you're dealing with something that's intelligent, at least you know that you are having an interaction that you might be able to do something to,
change it.
Well,
or
at least
redirect it.
Well, you could. I'm trying to think of a good way. I don't think you could really. You can change the energy, which is why a lot of people get into the sage and the spiritual and the crystals and this and that. But again, that's intent.
Right.
So it's always going to boil down to that. And we always get back to where we've had this discussion, I think, in the first one or two episodes, where when somebody's kind of weak and their anxiety's up or they're afraid, that you're a very good target for something to channel onto, because you're wound up and you're scared.
Right.
Now they got all that energy to deal with. that they can grasp onto.
Exactly.
And it's a negative energy. It's
right.
something that there already are.
Right.
And when
it attracts instead of repels.
Right. And when you're trying to repel, you're basically think of it like a magnet.
Right.
That's the best way to do it. If you got something that's similar, it's going to attract it. If you got something that's opposing, it's going to push it away. And that's kind of how I look at it. Right. All right.
So I gotta tell you this, and it's really been freaking me out. Well, not freaking me out, really intriguing me because it's really messing with my head. So I'm leaving Betterton. I'm heading to go get the oldest boy in Rock Hall, Rock Hall.
A similar trip you did that one time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm passing the road that leads to your house from the main road here, the Still Pond Road.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going past that field. That field that's right there on the corner that you're going down. It's on the left.
Mm-hmm.
I happened to look over, and you couldn't miss it to save your soul. It was a red flashing light.
Oh, different.
And I looked over, and what was weird was when I first saw it, it looked like it was flashing off to the other side. As soon as I started staring at it, it was flashing at me because it was brighter towards my side. And I go down, like, what the heck was that? Maybe it was farm equipment or something, but it was pitch black dark. And any farm equipment, you usually have headlights. So I spun around and went down that road. As I'm looking, it's going away. And I can't see any object because there's still kind of light. I mean, even it was flashing really bright.
Right.
It wasn't showing anything underneath. So really weird.
Was it low?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Really low. But it was heading towards into the field. Well, there's nothing there. More field.
Right.
Down the hill and back. Yeah. So it was still, but it was getting fainter as it was going away.
Was this light or dark?
It was dark.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you wouldn't be running like drones and stuff in the night.
Right. And like I said, if you were running farm equipment, even if you were using an ATV, you would have the headlights on.
Yeah.
That's how dark it was. And it was just this red flashing light.
Wow.
Yeah.
We would have a lot of weird stuff. Like I had the one which I still can't believe happened. Where I saw the green and blue and
green and blue,
alternating lights.
When did you see this?
That was 3 weeks ago.
Well, I remember you telling me about the green streak.
Yeah,
that's
the same one.
Finley saw.
Finley you and Finley. Me and Finley. Yeah. And David missed it for whatever reason, but that came straight down and then started like this.
Oh, to the left or right or an L shape.
Yeah. It went straight as like a shooting star. That's the best way I can explain it. And then just straight on gone.
Yeah, which got me excited because she reminded me of the one I had.
Yeah. Well, Kristen's, that was the same area is,
right.
She was coming from Molly's direction over where I was coming from Lynch.
That way.
Home. Yeah, opposite. Yeah, exactly. The opposite. So same area, which is what is kind of a mystery,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I drive by there constantly, and there is a little road that's right there, and wasn't there a house or something that was there, piece of property, like a busted house, on that little farm area, right? And what kind of like made me shrug it off was there was a truck parked in the beginning part of that roadway, so I was like, it's probably farmer or something. Still didn't make any sense. The more I think about it, the more it doesn't make sense.
Right. Well, a lot of the lights flashing away from you, then towards you, bright.
Right.
Yeah.
And as I turned around, it was leaving and getting dimmer.
Yeah.
Towards the field,
getting away from you.
Yeah. Right.
So that's what it really sounds like. This is like trailing away from you.
Right. That's what it still didn't make any sense to me. Like, really didn't make any sense.
I really want a ghost to mess with me.
But not gonna get it the way you wanted to get it.
I know. It never works out that way. But I do have this is what I meant to talk about, and I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how to forget things. But I have a friend. She had acquired a new house. And she's inviting me to do an investigation. Obviously, I invite you too.
Right.
I've told her to get settled in, moved in, all that stuff, but she apparently has pretty good stories to share with us, and she's already had something happen in her house.
Oh, wow.
And the house is empty right now. And I'm like, well, that's interesting because you're moving into it, which means you're stirring things up if you're already getting activity.
Right. Exactly.
You know,
something's already there attached to the building itself.
Right. So, I mean, this is a good opportunity to help her out, figure out what's going on.
Right.
As well as, you know, trying to look into the history of the property, see if we can figure out, you know, what is what.
Right.
And just really get down to the, you know, like how or why.
Have you seen the house?
I have not been to the house yet.
She hasn't. No, have you seen it? Like,
no,
you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet. And she just got the final done not long ago for the house.
Right.
And I know that she's starting to move in, and I've seen some pictures online, but I haven't
how
seen.
old does it look?
Probably 70s, maybe 60s. So it's not a super old house, but that doesn't mean
it to be super old.
No, it's more about whoever was living there, the attachment. And
right. Exactly.
But I find it interesting, and it's also really nice that she reached out to me about it, and it's given us this opportunity.
Right.
You know, I told her once things settle down, weather gets better, and she gets
settled in.
Yeah, then we'll reach out and go from there. I don't think it's malevolent or bad in any way. She's just it sounds like it's toying with them a little bit, you know, like just letting them know it's there.
Right.
You know,
and most of those times you just say that I live here now, and
yeah,
I'm not here to do such and such and such and such.
Live together.
Right. Exactly.
That's what I do in my own home. I mean, I can without a doubt say that my house has something going on in it.
Right.
And it's not evil at all. My kids know it's there. My wife knows it's there. I know it's there.
Except that one time.
Yeah, that was the cat. That scared me a little bit.
No, I meant the one thing you had to throw away.
Yeah, the mask. Yeah, that's gone. But yeah, I mean the big one. I'm pretty sure I talked about it was my son Ethan. He had the entity above his. You know, he was laying down on the bottom part of our bed, and he had an entity above him, floating above him, and he woke up screaming, you know, to it, and of course that woke me up, and I saw the entity over top of him. Kristen woke up, but she didn't look in that direction. She basically told him to, you know, calm down and go to sleep, and I'm sitting there going, oh my God, no, he's right, it's right there, I could see it. And as soon as I said something about it, it disappeared. And that was it. And what's interesting enough is that entity was like a blue floating mist.
Right.
You know, I could see it, but I couldn't really details. You know what I mean?
Right.
I knew it was a figure, but that was as far as it went. But it wasn't evil or bad or trying to do anything. It almost just seemed like it was curious or just
watching over
me like a guardian spirit.
Right.
And that's kind of where I lean with on that one.
Because you could definitely feel it when you.
Yeah, but it was wild just because, I mean, I don't know how he woke up. I never really talked to him about it, but he remembers it.
Well, that's one of those things, like, you don't notice it, because when my grandfather passed, I was staying over at my dad's, and I was on the couch, and I noticed something was watching me. And I said, and I brought it up to my old man the next day, and it's like, did you go by through the living room to go to the bathroom? He goes, yeah. But you were sound asleep. He goes, well, then it wasn't you. Yeah, it was, you know. He goes, well, I've been public checking on you. And well, I mean, it didn't wake me up to, you know, mess with me or anything like that. It's just that feeling that there's something there.
Yeah.
Not malevolent, not, you know.
Yeah, it goes to guardian angels, guardian spirits,
right?
Whatever
it's just
you want to call them.
that feeling that it's there and it's watching, and it's like,
which always makes me wonder, like, you know, how many times has, you know, have people actually been helped on explaining where a guardian spirit or guardian angel's done something, and they don't have a rhyme or a reason.
Right.
They
exactly.
Just know that they were saved and they don't know how.
Right. You know, if I didn't take the 404, you know.
Right.
Where that accident happened, something told me, you know, you need to stop off and get breakfast.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure everybody's had. I know I've had moments like that.
Oh yeah, I've
had
a couple.
Yeah. It's just like, if I would have did what I normally do. I wouldn't be here. Yeah, this was the unusual and the unknown, you know.
Right. I normally don't go here to do this or.
Right. So I mean, that's definitely at one point. I'll have to bring this up, and I'm going to do a little research into it, where they're talking about the original views and images of angels, how they had like more than one head.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing that pop up now. That they have multiple eyes on rings.
Yeah.
Wings on their heads, hands aren't attached with my wrists.
Yep.
they're kind of monstrous looking.
Yeah, and you had different,
levels
of the angels, tiers basically, like
yeah,
where they are.
And the higher they are, the worse they look.
Yeah, it's scarier.
Scarier, I wouldn't say worse. It's just
I think the higher they are, they start to become like rings with heads and stuff like that. But I want to research into that and bring a podcast and got a lot of plans for the future, but that's one of the ones I'll definitely be tackling. And demons, I think, is another one, just because there has to be a correlation between one and the other, especially when we're talking about fallen angels, Lucifer, and how he created what he did. It's getting into a touchy subject.
It is, because you start talking about Catholicism and
you can, but there's a way of bringing it up without bringing it in.
Right. Well, I mean, you can matter of fact.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, this is the story, the way it goes.
It's no different than talking about Greek mythology.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a belief or whatever.
Right.
So
I have to tell you before I forget, and this freaked me out. This was Thursday night. I'm driving home from the college, and right as you cross 50 on 213 heading towards Centerville, it's all open field for the trees.
Okay.
Right? You can literally see down 50.
Yeah.
And you always see the planes and whatnot at night. And
from BWI.
Yeah. But what was weird was I happened to look over on, my addiction. I looked out and I saw 8 white blinking lights. They were spread out, and I didn't think much of it until they started going blink, 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 blink. Blink, 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 blink. Blink, 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 blink. In unison, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I was like, holy crap. And I couldn't really, it started, I had a car behind me, so they started blinding me. And then the tree line came up, and I'm like, I just want to see it.
Right. Get it,
because
figure it out.
It's weird, because, I started to write it off as planes, but then there's 8 of them. And then they're blinking in this I wouldn't say unison, that would be all at once, but in sequence.
Oh, sequence.
They're blinking in sequence. And like if you flew 8 planes at the same time heading towards the same direction, their lighting pattern wouldn't be in sequence.
Well, it wouldn't be left to right in sequence. It would be random.
It would be completely random. They have a randomness. It's red, red, white, white, or whatever colors that they usually red, green, and white, with yellow headlights. And at that point, it'd be blink, 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 blink on the plane. They have that notion. Now, at different times, it'd be red, red, yellow, white, white, green, green.
You get yourself a couple of dash cams, like one in the front, one in the back, or side. Yeah, the side, because I drive fast.
I just like, holy crap.
Yeah. Well, I need to start doing that. I have a dash cam, and I've caught some crazy stuff with that, and deer run across the river, a white albino goat, or a deer goat. Jeez, I don't know why my mind went to goat. But no, albino deer, that was probably the craziest thing I ever caught on a camera.
Oh, I've seen them. They used to live by my uncle's house.
And there's one running around somewhere here.
These parts. No, but it's like, first I seen it was like, oh, look, the planes are, that's a lot of planes from one direction. But then the sequence happened. Whoa, wait a minute. And then it happened again, and then a third time before I lost view. I was like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Hence the where we are now.
Yeah, exactly.
I just thought it was interesting. I wouldn't say weird, because that's just out the window for me. It's interesting that I want to see it more.
Well, no, it's good.
I want to
be an observer and
right. I want it to be daylight to see what the hell the object is.
Right.
Even if it's not even in our...
I think it happens a lot more than what people think. I mean, that was like when we were talking about the last time about how people just tend to ignore things, especially when it's unexplained.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. It's normal to ignore. It's abnormal to say something. That's why you don't see a lot of...
How do you keep a great secret? Make it taboo to talk about.
You make it... Yeah, exactly. I mean, we can get into government and all that other stuff, but... Yeah, I mean, like you said that one time, there's a reason we have Space Force.
Hey,
it's right.
You can't doubt it. It's just, we need a Space Force. Why?
for good movie ratings, so we can add it to our repertoire.
I guess it just falls under that. It's about time. The Pentagon has said, yes, we've seen flying objects we can't explain. And no, we don't think they come from here.
Right.
And people go, especially in our community, go,
and give us answers. Don't give us,
exactly.
Give us explanations and details. That's what we want to hear. And I think it's the same thing with anything unexplained. Doesn't matter what it is everybody's looking for the details. They want to know about it. In the science community, they want it explained, what it is, what it's made of, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
They want to
tear
it apart.
I try to, keep myself in the loop of a lot of things. And I caught an article partially of where the government wants to come out and state that the Roswell crash definitely wasn't a weather balloon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we picked up stuff that wasn't from here.
Right.
No, we're not telling you exactly what it was.
Yeah. Even if they have the information, the question is going to be like, what are they going to release, and if they ever will. And
right. And what are you
doing?
You got
redacted information.
Right. What are you doing with it?
Yeah.
Is that where my iPhone technology came from?
Well, yeah, exactly. Reverse engineering equipment.
Right.
Who knows?
Exactly.
and it's a shame, though. I hate to say this, but I feel the internet the way it is there's too much misinformation as there is information on the internet.
Oh, exactly.
It's really hard to know what's what.
Especially Wikipedia. Anybody can get on there and change whatever they want.
Oh, yeah.
So, same goes for almost anything on the internet.
Yeah. YouTube channel, you pick one.
Exactly.
You just pick one. It doesn't matter. You Google it, and I'm going to tell you probably 80 to 90% of what you're reading is wrong.
Right. I think what gets a lot of people, especially the flat earthers, is the presentation comes off.
Planet's triangle.
Right. We're on top of a tortoise floating through space. Is that it's so well done that you watch another one and go, holy crap, maybe this is. No, wait.
What? A good salesman can sell you anything based on disillusion. If they give you enough information, eventually you believe it, especially if they keep cramming it down your.
Hey, my old man was a great salesman. He could sell ice water in hell.
Yeah. But that's how it is.
Exactly.
So it goes back to what do you believe? That's
really. I think that's where it comes from. That our misinformation or outweighs real information.
Yeah. Well,
or it gets lost in our community that it is misinformation.
Yeah,
it's actually true.
Well, even with what I'm trying to do with the ghost investigation, the reason I'm not going on it right now, besides the weather, is the fact that I'm trying to get my foot in the door correctly, and I have to kind of separate myself from other investigators because I'm trying to do this right.
Absolutely.
I want to go into investigation. Okay, what is happening? What's treat it like you're a doctor. What's the symptoms?
Yeah, exactly.
I got door knocks at this blah 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 blah. Okay, where does it happen? And then go from there. I don't care about what equipment the other people use. Yes, it's there, but again, we're going back to where am I getting the information? Well, obviously, most of the people get it from what they watch on TV or what they're reading on the internet.
Right.
I can't trust that 100%.
No.
How could I?
No,
TV is good television.
Exactly. If you watch any of them, I'll give you an example. Like Ghost Hunters back in the day, they'd get ripped apart all the time by critics.
Yeah.
You can't watch that. That's just for ratings. They make noise just to make noise.
Right. And you're right.
Yep.
Yeah, they got strings in the background full of whatever
TV,
to make it.
Yeah,
of course.
Even with them going, no, that shit was real.
Yeah. Investigators, if you were to YouTube it or go look, you can see thousands of people investigating who, aren't on TV because they're trying to do it legit.
Right.
Maybe they have evidence, but
they're on YouTube to share the knowledge of what they find.
Yeah. Well, you also find there's one I really talk to, me and him have been going back and forth, but they may spend thousands and thousands of hours doing an investigation and they might get one or two hits.
Right.
And that could be a hotspot for all you know.
Exactly.
And then you have to prove that what you got is legit, that it's not fake or doctored or whatever, and then people look at the answers. And I hate to say it, even when we do recordings like this, obviously I edit recordings to make it shorter or cleaner or take out the ends and ums and filler words that we like to
Words.
do. But I'm not doctoring what we're talking about.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing with videos. We're not adding any special CGI effects, or we're not trying to doctor that in any way. What I want on there is going to be real.
So no, I find it this way. I mean, in that sense, what do we benefit from that?
Exactly.
Especially if you're there
I don't
trying
get
to help
paid
somebody.
for anything.
Exactly. We're not getting paid for it.
Right.
We're just there to, one, find information, two, help people, and try to maybe find a solution if possible.
Yeah.
It's not for fame or glory. It's to help people.
Yeah. Man, I can't believe all that happened to you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Keep shooting it my way. You got a lot of shit happening to you.
Hey man, I can't help looking up at the sky.
Yeah.
And I'm addicted to Molly's area now because what Kristen told us.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't sound right though. I'm addicted to Molly's area.
Now that I think about it, the cameras that are there, I wonder if Chicky will let us look at them.
I'd have to ask him.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up. And with that, what I'm going to say is peace.
And love.
And love and chicken grease. Peace. Bye.